For some reason, this particular painting was a bit of a struggle, and I'm not real sure why. It's supposed to be just a simple winter scene. I thought it was fitting since we had gotten some snow lately. I ran out of washi tape, so I had to get a different roll. So here I'm just sketching out basic design, and to be honest, this painting kind of took on a life of its own. I mean, I had some elements that I kept, but some elements I added, and yeah, so this was just a very basic sketch. I mean, there wasn't. And then here comes my first mistake. I decided to paint an underpainting, which works well for me on acrylics, but not quite as well with gouache. And you'll see what I mean here in a minute. So I really didn't leave a whole lot of time for the underpainting to dry. I left some, but I didn't leave enough time. So I decided to put in some clouds, which was a last minute decision. And I attempted putting in sun here. Then I thought it looked weird and put more cloud. And yeah, this is where I decided it's not working. And so I just painted over it. I did end up liking the gradient I got in the sky. And here I'm just putting in some mountains and then some snow at the base of the mountains. I don't know why. Maybe it goes back to the days when I was a kid and I used to watch Bob Ross, but I love painting mountains. It's just fun. So I'm coming up with some light blue and then some like white with just a touch of blue for the highlights. I think I like the way the second mountain turned out better than the first one. Kind of like messing with the mountains a little bit more. Just trying to get a good balance of light and dark. And sometimes it takes a couple layers. It's kind of a fine line though, because if you fuss with it too much, like I did the clouds the first time I attempted to do the clouds, it doesn't work. So just a word of caution. So here I use some dark green and started to put in some trees. And since they're in the distance, I didn't make them super detailed. I'm adding some more snow. I will say the background painting in the area where there's snow it worked pretty well. I didn't like the base layer for the sky. And it turned out okay. It just kind of one of those days where it wasn't coming easy to me, and yeah, sometimes you just have to fight through the ugly stages. So here I added in back in the sun there. Then after everything dried for a bit, I came back in and put some highlights on the trees in the background. Then I added some more snow. Just kind of wanted to give the impression of some deep snow, so I just kept adding different layers, and I didn't use straight white here. I mixed in just a little bit of blue. And then I went in and added some snow to the tree lines. And then I added a big pine tree, which was a part of my original sketch. So again, I just took some dark green, just started to give the indication of some branches. And this wasn't exactly the style I was going for, but as far as like trees, but it turned out. But I did end up almost completely covering the one mountain in the background that was my favorite. And the bottom of this tree, for some reason, just got out of hand here. It ended up being bigger than I originally planned, but it happens. So here I'm just adding some highlights, trying to add some detail to the tree by adding some lighter green and not covering up all the dark areas. Add some more snow at the base of the tree, just kind of make it look part of the picture. Make it look like the trunk was buried. And then, of course, some highlights here. And then I added some snow to the branches of the bigger tree here in the foreground. And here lately, I've really enjoyed painting like snowy trees. It's a lot of fun. And I decided there had to be a path. This is where I was finally starting to get happy with the picture again, instead of fighting with it for so much. So I was kind of trying to just create this slushy path here, adding some indication of some snow and slush. And some more snow along the side of the road. And I might add that the sketchbook I'm using isn't a watercolor sketchbook. It's just regular paper, so it does buckle some. I just don't use an excessive amount of water. And it handles it pretty good. Just adding some tracks in the road there. And like, there has to be like an old broken fence post here. So I just add some highlights. Trying to make it look weathered and old. And I add some snow on it. A few tweaks here and there.